Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Wednesday video. Today we are returning back to the unofficial Hasbook. So last week we did kind of look at both series 1 and 2, but we also kind of looked at the different mint on card covers as well as the different languages. We also kind of looked at this right here, right? The card changes where they kind of had the J hooks. We also kind of looked at what I kind of looked at, like I don't know what you call them, like the little butterfly hooks, right? We saw the different card changes with the blue cards moving into like the yellow cards in Series 7, red cards, etc. We talked about, like I said, languages, American cards, French cards, Spanish cards, Italian cards, what have you. So we looked at Series 1. We looked at the SummerSlam cards, which you see on Series 1 and 2, and some of the figures that came with hologram cards. And I talked about the hologram cards, and I also did a video on those. I know I'm kind of talking kind of fast. One of the things I kind of regret doing when I went back and actually watched my video, all of these little collector notes, I didn't actually read all of the collector notes on the bottom of these figures, and I should have actually done that for each and every one of these, because there is a lot of good information on these figures. But I'm going to do that for Series 3 and onward, and let's get started, because the last time I was actually expecting to do this whole book in one video. I am so stupid. I actually thought I was going to get through this whole thing in one video. And I thought that video was going to take about an hour, hour and a half. And yeah, I got through that first opening segment, the first series, the second series. It took me about 50 minutes. I'm like, nope, not gonna happen, right? So I'm like, yeah. I thought maybe the first three series at a time, and I'm like, once I hit about 45 minutes, I'm like, I'm not gonna make it through Series 3. So I decided to break it down to 2 series at a time. And we are going to do Series 3 and 4 today. And we will start off with the black and white variations of Series 3. Now, I still say, in my opinion, when it comes to the WWF Hasbro figures, I do believe that Series 3 does have the strongest release of action figures. Now, I think Series 3 is the strongest, not only because, yes, they have a plethora of releases. Now, Series 6, 7, 8, they all had 6 figures. Series 9 had 5 figures, 6 if you include the re-release of Tatanka. Series 7 had another 6 figures, 7 figures. So, with 12 figures, yeah, you could pretty much put it up there with the Series 1 release with 12 figures, right? With the re-release of Smash in Series 2, you basically had, what was it, 15 figures in Series 2, so, Series 2 had the most releases, but with the overall quantity of release in Series 3, it gave you a nice abundance, but value. You have an overabundance of valuable figures in the series. Play poses, name recognition, aesthetic. You have it all in this series. Absolutely think that Series 3 is absolute dynamite in overall quality, top to bottom. So, let's start off with the overall value. Highlight piece, of course, is the Ultimate Warrior. The single greatest piece. today you can win him an auction for around $30 to $40, but I still think he's more of a $75 to $90 figure, especially mint. Coco Beware, if you could find him with loose arms or whatnot, he's about a $15 figure, but a minty figure, good paint, good strong arms, could go for about a good $20 to $25. With original accessory, you could see it go for around $50 to $75. Brutus Beefcake, he's about a $20 to $25 figure. Minty, he could get up to about $30 plus. With original accessory by himself could go about $50. Figure with accessory, especially original, $75 to $100 plus. So, Series 3, all they did was change the name on the back of the trunks, but a mint Series 3 Macho Man on the trunks, $50 to $75. Even a beater, a lot of paint loss. You're still looking at a good $30 figure, so expensive. Think about this. A Macho King, about a $5 to $15 figure. Macho Man, $30 to $50, and sometimes even more. So, Mr. Perfect. A beater, paint loss, paint bleed, weak arms, $15 figure. Good strong arms, good paint, a good $30 to $50. So, Hogan, you could get him from the UK, decent condition, maybe 5 pounds. But in the US, he's about a $20 to $25 figure. If you get him in this condition, $40 plus sometimes. I think out of this collection, Greg Valentine's probably like the least expensive figure, and he's about a $10, $15 figure a lot of times. Sergeant Slaughter, you can usually get him around $10. Good condition, $20, $25. Texas Tornado, I think he's around a $10, $15 figure, but still, you could find him anywhere between $15 to $30. Weak arms, $15. Good condition, again, $30 plus. Natural disasters, if you win them on auction together, if they have their actual full-on typhoon or earthquake actual graphic-wise, come on. Together, I've seen them go on auction for like $75 plus. So, this is a very popular, very expensive line. Bossman, I think this is like a $10 figure, right? But even Bossman today is selling for like $25, $30 with nightstick. Crazy expensive. We're talking potentially $40 to $50 with the original nightstick. So, awesome. I really got to get myself a... You know what I'm going to do? Hold on a sec. I'm going to try and put this thing inside this little holder and see if that helps me a little bit. Try and stabilize this phone some. So, what I love about the Big Boss Man in Series 3, when you think about it, Series 1 Big Boss Man, a figure I had from childhood, means a lot to me, but Series 1 Boss Man is also a top 10 worst Hasbro. In my opinion, a Series 3 Big Boss Man, basically the exact same figure, right? Same accessory. Yes, they did alter the fighting pose. They did slim him down. They gave him a much more proportionate head to the body. But they went from a top 10 worst Hasbro in Series 1 to a top 10 best Hasbro in Series 3. Love it. Alright, what do they say in the notes here? Big Boss Man was planned to be released with Series 4. The card has the lot number 7049. The card back collect them all section differs from the rest of Series 3. Big Boss Man image is different and also shows the Series 4 figures. And lastly, the 1992 Hasbro Toy Fair catalog showed Big Boss Man with the Series 4 figures. Interesting. Okay, so the Series 3 nightstick is a different mold than the Series 1. The Series 3 has a more pronounced handle with more prominent ridges. So here are the ridges, up close and personal. And I'm going to backtrack to the Series 1 Bossman nightstick. So here's the nightstick from Series 1. I'm kind of looking at it, but more prominent, maybe? What do you guys think? Kind of looks the same. Maybe a little bit thicker, possibly. You guys know me, man. Right now, I'm in the process of creating all these different bundles, right? Among those bundles, getting every single Hasbro figure that comes with the extended arm pose. I'm putting those all in one bundle. I'm also getting every single figure that comes with this pose. Now, at first, I was going to put like just this particular fighting pose. Like Series 1/Series 2 Smash. Nails, Brutus Beefcake, etc., right? But then I decided, you know what? No. I'm going to get every single figure that has the uppercut punch. So that includes Roddy Piper, that includes Series 3 Hulk Hogan, that includes Series 4 Bret Hart, etc. No, they don't have the exact same fighting pose, but they all have the uppercut punch. So I'm putting all of the uppercut punch figures in one bundle. I already have bundles with all of the jumpers, bundles with all of the, Macho Man fighting Series 1 poses, Rick Martel, Series 7, Series 10, Shawn Michaels, etc. in one bundle. So I'm coming up with different ideas to appeal to different buyers, right? So I think Series 3 Brutus Beefcake is one of the most perfect figures ever. And it's so odd I can't fit this guy in my top 10 favorites. And he is such a perfect piece, man. Who was it, man? Dang. I just watched a video. Someone was talking about this. Whose video was I watching? It had to be a wrestling channel. And it just had to be like yesterday. And somebody was talking about, they were watching like the Wrestling Figure podcast, and like Mark Sterling or someone was holding a Series 3 was holding a Series 3 Brutus Beefcake, and he had the nightstick. And somebody had painted a Series 1, or not a nightstick, I'm sorry, was holding the shears, and the black paint came off of his hand because they had painted the Series 1 shears to look like the Series 3. I'm like, that's awesome. Because, like I said, the Series 3 shears are so crazy expensive. They're so rare. And by themselves, they're about $50 accessories. And until my buddy Kirk told me that when he bought his shears, he paid about $50 for them. And he told me that they're rubber. And all the shears I had bought in the past, they were always like hard plastic accessories. And I'm like, really? I mean, obviously I had my figures, my, mint on card, but I was never taking those accessories off the package, right? And then, lately I've been getting these accessories like the orange shears, and they too were rubbery. I'm like, and I went downstairs to like my main display and looking at my Series 1 Brutus hard shears. I'm like, nah, man, I gotta switch these out. Replace them with the orange rubbery shears. And now I gotta find myself some rubbery black shears too. I mean, that they're fine for a collector, for display purposes, especially if you don't want to pay a fortune for this, for the rubber kind. But for someone like me who is like all about having original everything, it's nice to have for collection purposes. I just would have liked if they actually changed out the head mold. Same thing with like Marty Jannetty, you know. Alright. A Hasbro standard was found that showed that the shears accessory was originally planned to have black and silver striped handles. This was changed to the all black handles for the retail figures. Yeah, my buddy Rob, he is going to try and customize some shears for me, some special shears, so that I do have the black and silver handles as well. You guys know that I've gotten a lot of customs Mega Maniac Hasbro figures from Rob, and he does such perfect work, man. If you actually look at my Mega Maniac figure, it does look original, and I love that. I've got a couple of them for my personal collection. I'm probably going to ask him to make me a couple more, because I do want to start incorporating like the Mega Maniac kind of with my bundles, you know, for fans who want to purchase my bundles so that they have it for their personal collection as well. Let's see. The 92 Hasbro Toy Fair catalog showed Brutus Beefcake with red shears accessory. All right. And then we've got Earthquake. Now, a lot of the time, you'll see Earthquake with like absolutely perfect color, right? And no paint loss, no paint bleed, absolute perfect color. But it's so weird because when you look at his color, right, you will not see the word Earthquake right here. And you got to actually get really close. And it's like, how do you not have any paint loss whatsoever, but the word Earthquake is not legible? How does that fade over time? But if you do have yourself a pretty minty figure, that could go for a good $20, $25 just by himself. So that is worth a good chunk of money just by himself. So Earthquake shares the same body mold as Series 2 Typhoon. That's actually a typo because Typhoon is a Series 3 figure, not a Series 2. At the time of the figure's release, Earthquake and Typhoon were a tag team known as the Natural Disasters. During their early run, Earthquake wore the blue attire, later changing to red and white attire. There are two variations of the Collect Them All artwork. The initial artwork did not have the Earthquake logo. Really? This was added for Series 4 and 5 card backs. Did not have the Earthquake logo. So, I'm wondering. There are two variations. So, does that mean that not every Earthquake did come with this then? Wow. So, I always thought that this Earthquake was... That just meant that the Earthquake just it was just faded over time. Wow. I didn't realize that was a variant. Damn, I've had a lot of really awesome Earthquakes, like mint condition, that didn't have the word Earthquake. I didn't realize it was a variant. Now I gotta freaking look at my Earthquake figures and keep one as an extra because it's a variant. Now I gotta start incorporating that in my Hasbro videos in the future. God, I love this book, man. This book you learn so much already. This is amazing. And then Greg Valentine. You know, Greg Valentine, this is an awesome figure. Great play pose and everything, but I think this is probably one of my top 15 least favorite figures. And it's nothing wrong with the figure itself. I mean, like I said, it's an awesome piece, but just like his LJN, it's just very simple, very plain. But I still put Greg Valentine LJN on my top 10 favorites based on play pose alone. But this right here is just very simple, though, overall. But the LJN, I do want to get a custom made to look just like this with brace and all. All right. So... Greg Valentine was originally planned to be released with Series 2. We knew this with the Honky Tonk Man as a Rhythm and Blues Tag Team 2-pack alongside the Honky Tonk Man. The 92 Hasbro Toy Fair prototype had blonde eyebrows. Yeah, he's got brown or black eyebrows. The GIG card, I don't know what GIG stands for. What is that? Also available dual, I don't know what that is. If anybody knows what GIG is, I'm not familiar. Has Jim Duggan's name under Greg Valentine. And Hulk Hogan. This is most definitely the best Hulk Hogan figure of the bundle. So if you are incorporating the mail-away figure, yeah, I will say that the mail-away Hogan is the best. But the mail-away Hogan is basically this Hulk Hogan, right? And I like the red Hulk Hogan better in that respect. But if you're not incorporating the mail-away and just looking at the original 4 figures from the line, Series 1, 2, 3, and 5, this is the most perfect Hulk Hogan. Greatest play pose, just like the Series 4 Bret Hart, right? Good graphics, great face. I mean, everything about this is perfection. Never had this figure as a kid. Again, never had anything from Series 3. But this would have been absolutely amazing. Alright. I mean, I don't ever read the top part up here because, I mean, this is mostly just like, you know, not necessary, I don't think. Claims to possess the largest arms in the world. His 24-inch pythons. Let's see what this bottom says. The leg mold has been reused from the Series 1 Hulk Hogan figure. And I think all of Series 1, 2, and 3 all have been using the same leg molds. So I don't think that's ever changed. Not yet. So Series 3 Hogan head mold would be reused for the Series 5 release. And the full body mold would be reused for the 94 mail-away figure. We already know that. The Series 2 figure was reused for the Series 3 card backs. The image was modified for Series 4 card backs with words Hulkster rules being added. Alright. Let's skip a page. No. So, Coco Beware. So, Grapplers and Gimmicks, they came out with their own James Ware figure, and don't get me wrong, I think it is a nice inclusion to the Hasbro-esque world, but, I mean, Coco Beware, Hasbro, I mean, anything that's Hasbro related, I think is always going to be one notch above any other line that comes out. But he's a jumper figure, and that hurts him overall. But he does have an awesome play pose. His look is not that bad. I mean, the dual color design is fine, and it is a good figure. And like I said, it has value to it, so I'm okay with that. And his freaking accessory is awesome. But I like the fact that his accessory with Grapplers and Gimmicks actually stays on. I feel like every time or not every time, but a lot of time I've had this accessory and I've tried to, you know, attach it to the body, the freaking feet break. I have damaged probably a few of them already in my time, just trying to connect it to the arms, and I'm like, son of a. I've been so ticked off doing that. So, and these by themselves are like $40 accessories. So, yeah, that's absolutely destroyed me. Poor Frankie. Rest in peace, buddy. At the time of the figure's release, Coco Beware was in a tag team with Owen Hart, known as High Energy. The Toy Fair prototype show Coco Beware with the pink headband. Nope. There are 2 variations of the Collect Them All artwork. The initial artwork did not have the trunks and glasses colored in. This was added for Series 4 card backs. That may have been what was added later on. Yep. You know, of all the Macho Man figures, I still don't know which one's my favorite. Like with the Series 5, I take away the fact that the Series 5 was a jumper, right? Play pose ain't that bad. The fact that he comes with the jacket and hat and all that, I don't mind that. Like, I think the overall aesthetic, giving him all that extra build on, is pretty awesome. It's a unique look. Awesome. You know, Series 2 and 3 are the same, so we could combine that into one. I'd probably give credit to Series 1 as being the better Macho Man figure, but this is not a bad looking figure by any means. This is a very awesome serviceable figure, and with the clothesline, you know, wind up and everything, you know, this has its moments. This could be a potentially better figure. So I think in terms of playable figures, I think Macho Man might have some of the best overall aesthetic figures, or some of the best playable figures in the line. So, I mean, Hogan with the Series 2 bear hug, terrible. Yeah, Macho Man has yet to get a bad figure in the line. $1 Million Man, 3 figures. Series 1 was really thin. I mean, not great. It was okay. Series 2 I really like. Series 9 was good. Ultimate Warrior got 3 good figures. Series 2 was awesome. Series 3 was perfect. But Macho Man never got a bad one. And I always tell people, when you look at the cards of Macho Man, if you're on like eBay or something and you come across like a carded Macho Man or something, and you're like, you know what, I don't want a Series 2 Macho Man, I already have one. You can always tell if it's a Series 2 or 3, even before reading the description, based on this photograph right here. If you're looking at this and think, oh, well, that's just a Series 2, pay attention to that. If he's got a crown on his head, you know it's a Series 2. If you're looking at that and you don't see that crown, bam, you know that it's not Series 2. A loose Series 3 Randy Savage can be distinguished from the Series 2 Macho Man by the words Macho Man printed on the back. Booyah. Like I said, Series 2 Macho King is like a $10 figure. Macho Man, $30. And that's like low-end type of deal. And then Mr. Perfect. You know, your Series 3 and 8 Mr. Perfect. Your Series 7 and 11 Crush. Your Series 9 Scott Steiner. I finally got a name for these arm positionings. The teacup arms. I keep seeing that name given to these guys on Facebook groups. The teacup arms. I never had a name for it, but I'm glad I know what to call them now. The Mr. Perfect mold would go on to be reused, repainted for a total of 6 different figures. What did I say? I said 5 so far. 2 Crushes, 2 Mr. Perfects, Scott Steiner. Oh yeah, Adam Bomb. Adam Bomb is the other. So yes, you know me. I've talked about all of these different bundles I'm building. I am building the Teacup Arms bundle as well. When it comes to the Purple Crush and the Adam Bomb figures, more than likely, I am probably going to have to use customs for those 2 figures. Why? Simply put, I just will not pay $200 to $350 or more for a loose figure just to put in a bundle to resell, because that bundle will probably, I'll probably have to list that bundle for like $1,000 just to get some kind of profit out of it, and nobody's going to end up buying a bundle with a starting bid of $1,000, right? But no, you put some customs in there. Let people know, hey, these are 2 custom figures. People want customs because do you want a custom Crush for, I don't know, $50, $100, whatever? Or do you want to pay $400 for, or $500 for a loose Crush? Yes, that's exactly what a loose Crush is selling for. $500 darn dollars. So, nah, people will take that $75 to $100 Crush, $50 Crush, whatever. That's a custom that looks exactly like it. Right? 100% replica. And they'll buy the teacup bundle for $400 or whatever I end up listing it for. At least that's the goal. I am trying to create these bundles to help my interested buyers out, new collectors or what have you. Sergeant Slaughter. Oh man, Rob, he's also making me a turncoat Sergeant Slaughter repaint, right? During the 92 era with the Iraqi paint scheme. Oh man, I can't wait to get that one in. That one's gonna look freaking amazing. Many regard him as an American turncoat. Has established an all-new brand of vicious rules in WWF. Reigned as the WWF champion from January 19th to March 24th, 1991. Really? Just 2 months? One of my favorite figures, actually. And yep, the drop-down arms. Probably gotta do one for that as well. The Sarge. Sergeant Slaughter is the only wrestler to be featured in 2 separate Hasbro lines. He also had multiple figures in the Hasbro G.I. Joe line from 85 to 89. G.I. Joe production ceased with Sergeant Slaughter's heel return to the WWF in 1990. And Texas Tornado. Only one of 2 figures joining Tatanka with the dual arms. I still look at this as like a $10 or $15 figure, but so many people, they put this guy up for like $30, and I'm like, okay, whatevs. The 1992 Hasbro Toy Fair showcased the Texas Tornado prototype, having white and red boot tassels. This was changed to an all red for the retail release. So Typhoon, another one of those guys. If you guys saw my recent YouTube community notes as well as my Facebook post, where Typhoon, he's got the white shoelaces, right? But the left foot had no shoelaces. It was just an all red boot. And I was asking the question if that was factory error or if that was just simple paint loss over the years. And some people thought it was just potential paint loss. Didn't hold any real value. But some people, then others kind of said, no, man, that's a legitimate production error and is worth a lot of money. So I'm like, damn, well, what is it? Is it legitimate or is it not? I'm so confused. Because if it was a legitimate error, yeah, I would love to have that for the collection, you know? But I don't want to be paying top dollar for something that's just paint loss. That's crazy. Because I love having variants and these prototypes and factory errors and stuff, because I just think that stuff's cool. For my personal museum, I think that stuff is interesting, and especially for making videos for LJNs and Hasbros and Remcos and stuff, it's nice to have that type of stuff. Be able to showcase for you guys. A tugboat figure was originally planned to be released before the wrestler's gimmick changed to Typhoon. A tugboat controller, reference slide, test shot, and 2-up paint master had been found. The figure was going to have a punching arm similar to the Series 1 Jake Robert. Oh, thank God that didn't happen. That would have been horrible. A Typhoon shares the same body mold as Series 2 Earth. Why do they keep calling it Series 2? It's not Series 2, it's Series 3. God, this book gives you so much good information, but then they kind of screw up right there. There are 2 variations of the collectible artwork. The initial artwork did not have the Typhoon logo. This was added to Series 4 and 5 card backs. So, again, I ask, I've seen Typhoon with the missing logo on a singlet. Paint error or legitimate variant? Now the figure that I wish I could have had as a kid. Oh my god, this one is so freaking awesome. Probably the figure that I classify as like the number 3 best Hasbro. Just behind Yokozuna and maybe the Series 8 Bret Hart at number 2. But man, this is like perfect in every facet. Play pose, aesthetic, name recognition. This is one of the greatest action figures ever. Fun action feature too, man. Just perfection. Now mine does not have this. The Warrior Whim. I think I have like a French card or something. But an MOC card is probably like $400. Yeah, I probably paid like maybe $150, $175 for mine on a French card. So, I mean, even like a foreign card is like crazy expensive. The figure is only one of 3 that never had a 2-up paint master made. That was because of the spring leg mechanism. The 92 Hasbro toy catalog showed the Ultimate Warrior prototype with yellow and white face paint rather than the purple and white used for the retail version. But yeah, man, this was like one of those figures like Owen Hart, Series 3 Ultimate Warrior, Yokozuna. I mean, that's like Nasty Boys, Legion of Doom. I mean, these are some of those figures that I always try or I want to stockpile because they're valuable figures to me. Like, I always feel like you could always resell them for like good prices, but they're always crazy expensive. So like, you can't, right? But if you ever come across them in the wild, that'd be awesome. All right, Series 4. Series 4 came out with 8 figures. And it comes up with your last set of tag teams. So, Series 2 had 3 tag teams with Demolition, the Bushwhackers, and of course, the Rockers. 3 official tag team sets in 2-pack. And Series 4 gives you your last 2 of 5 tag team sets with the 2-packs of the Legion of Doom and Nasty Boys. Now, from this series, I did have Undertaker, British Bulldog, and Bret Hart from childhood. Now, Bret Hart, he was one of the most utilized action figures ever. Because he came along later on in life, he is obviously one of those figures that I can remember playing with more than anything. Now, even though, yes, we had Series 1 and Series 2 figures longer, but this was such a beloved character. And this was such a perfect playable wrestling action figure. You know, just like your Series 3 Hulk Hogan, right? So, this got so much freaking use. When I reflect on childhood, yes, the Galoop Sid Vicious was probably the most played with figure ever. But I also think about Thundercats. And I think about that, what the heck was his name? We just called him Thundercat. But now, as an adult, I now know him as Panthro. But as a kid, we didn't know his name, right? But that figure, we used to utilize him like crazy. Up here, you guys can see him. But that guy right there, Harry and the Hendersons, and right next to him, so the Harry and the Hendersons figure, and the Incredible Hulk, those 2 guys we used to play with as well all the time, right? So, me kind of deviate from the magazine real quick. That football player guy, or where is he? I think we used to use like that guy. That where else? Do I have anything else over here? Where's that Panthro? Like that Panthro. That used to be like one of the most played with action figures ever, right? We used to use that Panthro guy like crazy for like for our matchups. So like Sid Vicious going up against like Panthro, or Sid Vicious going up against like Bigfoot, or Sid Vicious against Bret Hart. Bret Hart against Undertaker. Bret Hart against British Bulldog against Undertaker, etc. There's a reason why those figures, meant so much. Because, yes, they came later on in life, but we got more use out of those figures than pretty much any of the earlier figures ever. Just so much freaking fun. And he's another one of those uppercut punch figures, right? So, yes, of course, he's going into the uppercut punch bundle of figures that I'm creating. And, of course, Bret Hart, he does have both a pink and a purple heart variant, right? Now, you got to be careful because some people are going to claim that the purple heart variant is a mail-away figure. And they are going to ask a world of return financially from you. Is it a legitimate mail-away? That's the question. Because Series 4 did release a Purple Heart variant MOC. You could sit there and claim it's a mail-away all day long. It doesn't mean that it's a mail-away. It could be, right off of an actual MOC package, like so. It might make it a little bit more rare, but it doesn't make it. It makes it a little bit more valuable, but it doesn't mean it's a mail-away. So, this could be a, $20 to $40 figure, right? If it's a Purple Heart, maybe it's a $60 figure, $75 figure even. But if someone is claiming it's a mail-away and is trying to get like $300 off of you, if it's loose out of the baggie, no. They're insane if they're thinking they're going to get that type of money. That's crazy. So, with that being said, Series 4... Series 4 saw 2 releases of Bret Hart. The pink heart has a darker skin tone when compared to the purple heart release. The 92 Hasbro Toy Fair catalog prototype showed the glasses painted pink with silver stripes, rather than the all pink seen in the retail version. The 92 TV commercial prototype boots had a fully colored in pink star. This was changed to a pink outline of a star for the retail figure. Also, from Mabel Toys, he once had a kind of, factory error where the shoelaces were not filled in, where there wasn't a white line down here. So I saw that before. So again, you have to look at these figures very closely, because even the factory error where the white line doesn't come down, that could increase the value of your figures. So, don't think just because, you have something that's common, and yeah, Bret Hart is a common figure, right? That you could just sell it for like dirt cheap, because you might have a rare item that you're not even realizing. All right. Known for the excellence of execution, here is the Bret Hart with Purple Heart. His favorite quote is, "The Hitman's got you in his sights, baby." Outstanding. The figure would end up being reused for the 1994 mail-away figure. Series 4 saw 2 releases of Bret Hart. The Purple Heart has a lighter skin tone, which compared to the Pink Heart release. And remember, the original prototype for the mail-away was actually the Series 8 Bret Hart, but they actually scrapped the Series 8 Bret Hart release for the mail-away and decided to re-release the Series 4 Bret Hart as the mail-away. And if you actually look online and see what the design for the Series 8 original prototype, where they had like the stars on the back of that figure. It was just a beautiful, beautiful figure. Oh my god. I still need that. Even as a custom, I still want that one. And Davey Boy Smith. Now they show canceled here because obviously Matilda was never part of the packaging. Otherwise, that would have been a nice little inclusion as an added bonus of an accessory. The figure has molded Union Jack British flag on the wristbands, but they were never painted. I never noticed that. Let's see. Try to see if there's anything up here. Okay, so doesn't look like there's anything special notes there. And of course, we've got Ricky Steamboat. And like I said, this is my Ricky Steamboat from childhood. Now, you can see Ricky Steamboat in two different variations where you got Ricky Steamboat with the cape being worn down, or you can see Ricky Steamboat where the cape is worn up like so. Now, in all of these photographs, his cape is being worn down. I like the cape being worn up because it's like over his head, right? But I put two Ricky Steamboats in my main loose display case for that purpose, because I want both versions where the cape is up and down. So you got kind of gets two different feels for what it looks like. But Ricky Steamboat, he's kind of like the Giant Gonzalez to me. I feel like these figures were never played with because anytime you come across them, they're always in mint condition. So nobody really enjoyed them, I think. So Ricky Steamboat left the WWF and had signed with WCW before the release of his WWF Hasbro figure. Awesome. And of course, we've got The Undertaker, the last Hasbro figure that we would have had. Known for burying his opponents alive. And of course, the purple hair, or excuse me, the purple hair, I'm stupid. The red hair Undertaker. Now, the red hair and the brown hair Undertaker, which is from the mail away, both had the exact same figure with the kind of like eyeshadow on his eyes, right? Now, it looks like they had an urn originally planned, but that was canceled. Again, maybe it would have been a nice accessory, but there are a lot of customizers that add urns for the figure, and I actually do. I think I have a custom urn for my figure, but it barely fits in the hand, and I think it actually scrapes off the paint in his hand, so I really hate it. So I think it's an unnecessary accessory. The Undertaker was originally planned to be released with an urn accessory. A controller of the figure stated, left hand should grip urn accessory. A separate controller of the urn accessory has also been found. The Series 4 Undertaker can be distinguished from the Series 8 and mail away by the red hair. One of the most popular teams in the WWF, the Legion of Doom, starting with Animal. Now I always love Animal because his face paint is always spot on. Now, Legion of Doom, here's the thing about Legion of Doom. Whether you're buying Legion of Doom and their chest plates are like mint, or if their chest plates are like broken with like broken spikes, or there's like a lot of paint bleed at the tip of the spikes, whatnot, these are like always $40 figures. Like very rarely will you ever buy a Legion of Doom set and see them sell for less than 40 bucks. Like, I could put these up on auction, put them at a starting bid of $40. They may not sell the first week. They may not sell the second or third week, but eventually someone will bid on them for the $40 and win them for $40. Or they may get 2 or 3 bids and sell for $41, $42, but they will sell. I might put them up for $50. I might get an offer and might accept and sell them for $40, $43, $45, something like that. But they're basically $40 figures. Again, what do I always say? It's more about who you're buying from than the condition most of the time. Because how many times do I look at auctions and see these guys sell on auction for like $75 to $90 or more? But whenever I sell them, I always get $40 for them. So they're awesome pieces. Because they're valuable, I always buy a set. You know, some of my favorites to collect. Some of my favorite tag teams. But tag teams. And here's what's so frustrating about Hasbro tag teams. Oh my God. eBay. Mercari is the same way. You can always find Animal. You can always find Marty Jannetty. You can always find Samu. You can always find Scott Steiner. Why is Hawk never available? Why is Fatu never available? Why is Series 2 Shawn Michaels never available? Why is Rick Steiner never available? I mean, yeah, you can here and there, but it's not like they're as readily available as the rest of them. And it's so freaking annoying. Alright. Animal came as a Legion of Doom 2-pack along with Hawk. The Spanish cards name them all has Hawk's name under Animal. For Hawk's name as Legion of Doom 2-pack along with Animal, check. Spanish card, same thing, has Animal's name under Hawk, check. So Hawk obviously has the better fighting pose with the closed fist and all, but he's a jumper, so that kind of hurts his overall value. But I like him because, check that out, raised in Chicago. He's from the South Side. North Sider over here. Probably grew up a White Sox fan. Cubby blue all day. Even though they always freaking suck. Got their teeth kicked in again by the darn Arizona Diamondbacks. Because Jed Hoyer doesn't know how to build a freaking bullpen. Ugh. I'm going to do a darn live show. And I am going to sit there and bitch and complain about Jed Hoyer and Tom Ricketts and their cheapness on building a darn bullpen. Not a darn bullpen, but a darn bullpen. Oh man. Nasty boys. Love the figures. My God. Again, 2 more figures that should be top 10 best Hasbros. Shows you how loaded this line is. I can't even put these guys in my top 10, but they've got to be top 15 figures. Absolutely amazing. Especially Jerry Sags. Perfect. Brian Knobs. Another one of those awesome extended arm figures. What do we got to say about him? Brian Knobs came as a Nasty Boys 2-pack. Okay, so it looks like these guys, all they got to say is came with 2-packs. These were conundrums for me for such a long period of time. Couple years back, I used to see these guys sell on auction, constantly for $75 to $150 on a consistent basis. And so I used to think to myself, okay, I got these amazing Nasty Boy figures. Perfect. I will put them up for buy it now for $75. I've talked about this on my page constantly. $75 is the going rate. Buy it now, $75. Awesome. Never got any bites on my listings ever. Drove me nuts. But I would always look at other people's pages, and their figures would always go on auction, and they would always be bid up to $125, $150 on a consistent basis. And I'm like, my listing is right here. Same condition, better even. Once these auctions got up to $100 plus, you could have easily come back to my and bought mine for the 75. You were already bidding the stuff up. Come on now, help a brother out here. But nah, man, I was getting so frustrated with that. Nowadays, I don't even try. Like, I'm like, give me $40 on these guys. I'm good. I will take $40. Same thing with Legion of Doom. I kind of buy these guys up like crazy because Legion of Doom Nasty Boys, I sell them for like $40. I'm happy with that. Like, I don't try to break the bank with this. As long as someone's being fair with their offers, like, hey, $40, I'm good. Someone gets an awesome pair of figures and I make something off of it. And it allows me to buy something different to keep adding more to the collection so that I can, again, be able to replenish my stock for future sales, right? So, that is the last figure for Series 4, and we're almost an hour into the video, so, well, we're about the same amount of time that we did the last video, so that's good. Yeah, I really like these videos. I'm thankful that Series 4 was a short one because I talked forever on Series 3. Alright, guys. That was the Unofficial Hasbook Series 3 and 4. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And I will talk to you in the comments. I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.